Ayato is coming, and so am I. With that said, I oughta do a guide. Was that a good one? No? Not funny? Okay. This video will go over Ayato's entire existence. His abilities, artifacts, weapons, blah blah blah, you get the idea. So, let's jump right into the news! I'm sorry, that was cringe. First up is his kit. Ayato's skill gives him 100% motivation. When you activate it, Ayato will do two things. First, he will place a water illusion that explodes and does damage when it's near enemies. That may seem cool on paper, but in practice, you actually don't even notice it doing anything. So yeah, it's just kind of there, I guess. The other thing Ayato does is go into a stance change for 6 seconds. In this stance, he will do quick AoE hydro slashes that are considered normal attacks. Another thing that can happen while in this state is this Namisen effect. This effect increases damage based on Ayato's current max HP. This also has up to 4 stacks, and stacks are gained by slashes every 0.1 second. Now this is pretty neat for a little extra damage, but the damage bonus is pretty small. Just like my nothing too insane, it's just a nice little cherry on top kind of thing. Moving on to Ayato's burst, it's pretty simple. He puts down an AoE field that'll have raindrops doing constant hydro damage. Basically, Ganyu's burst, but not frozen water. This field also increases normal attack damage of any character in it. More things to add is that his burst is expensive as hell. A whopping 80, which can be an issue if you're not generating enough particles, but with the right setup, you should be fine. On the other hand, his burst lasts for a good amount of time, a whole 18 seconds. Plenty of time to generate energy, so shouldn't be a problem, right? Then of course you have Ayato's normal attacks. They look pretty damn cool, I would have to say. Excuse me. As for his passives, Kamisato Art, Mine wo Matoyishi Kiyotaki, I said that very wrong. This will grant Ayato 2 Namisen stacks when he uses his skill. Additionally, when the water illusion explodes, he will gain a Namisen effect equal to the max number of possible stacks. Basically, you'll get a bunch of stacks without even trying. Ayato's second passive, Kamisato Art Michiyuki Hagetsu, states that if Ayato is not on the field and has less than 40 energy, he will auto-generate 2 energy for himself every second. This effect can be nice, but isn't too crazy as it's only if he has less than 40 energy. Ayato's last passive, Kamisato Art Daily Cooking, states that when Ayato cooks a dish perfectly, there is an 18% chance to receive an additional suspicious dish. If you're curious on what exactly that is, it's essentially a dish with worse effects. But what exactly happens when you eat this very appetizing food?
Mom, this tastes different. Did you put anything different in it?
I put a bit of one.
For which talents to prioritize, you want to level up his skill for the most motivation. Then, you'll want to level his burst for even more motivation because of the normal attack damage bonus. And lastly, the normal attack talent, only if you want to. You don't have to level this up as it's not necessary because it doesn't do anything for the skill. As for which artifacts to use, there are a good few options. The Gladiator set is a good choice because of the 4-piece bonus, which increases normal attack damage by 35% if the user is a sword, claymore, or polearm. Ayato is a sword user, so this is perfect, baby! The Heart of Depth set is also great because its 2-piece bonus gives 15% or more on hydro damage bonus, and its 4-piece increases normal attack damage by 30% for 15 seconds after using an elemental skill. Pretty damn ideal for Ayato. Another good option is Nymph's Dream. This will increase hydro damage by 15% for its 2-piece bonus, and for the 4-piece bonus, it states that after literally anything hits enemies, 1 stack of mirrored nymph will be created, lasting for 8 seconds. When you have up to 3 stacks, attack will increase up to 25%, as well as hydro damage increasing up to 15%. This isn't as good as the first 2 sets I mentioned, but it should, in theory, get the job done. Shimenawa's is an okay option for its 4-piece bonus. If the character has 15 energy or more, they lose 15 energy and increases normal attack damage by 50% for 10 seconds. The reason this is okay is because the idea of losing energy is cringe. Echo's is also okay for its 4-piece. When normal attacks hit enemies, there is a 36% chance to trigger Valley Right, which increases normal attack damage by 70%, and the effect is dispelled 0.05 seconds after a normal attack deals damage. You can see why this is just okay. It's RNG based and very inconsistent. I've also been told a lot that this effect is bugged and won't work if you have high ping. So if you have McDonald's trash Wi-Fi, you won't get anything out of this. So yeah, it's not too ideal. Out of all the options I mentioned, I highly suggest Heart of Depths. It's consistent, it's very simple, gives hydro damage bonus, and gives normal attack damage bonus as well. So very good. I highly suggest going for that set. Of course, you might be wondering about doing 2-piece. It can work, but you won't be getting as much damage as you would with most of the 4-piece sets. Now, for the main stats and sub-stats of artifacts, you'll want to go with Attack Sands, Hydro Cup, and Crit Rate or Crit Damage Circlet main stats. The reason we're doing Attack Sands over HP is because the damage bonus for HP scaling is small. Just like my cock. Attack will provide more than HP. HP scaling is only there for a tiny bonus that can be gained through organic means like character levels, flowers, or even weapon passives. If you're wondering about energy recharge sands, I'll say that only use one if you are having that much of a problem with energy. Other than that, attack is most ideal. For substats, you'll mainly want crit since Ayato is heavily DPS focused. Other stats like attack percent, ER, or HP percent are nice too. Moving on to Ayato's best weapons. His best in slot is, to no surprise, his signature weapon. This has a good crit rate stat, and the passive is made specifically for him because of its normal attack damage bonus. Next option is the Jade Cutter. It also gives crit rate and has a decent passive, which gives more HP and allows a little bit more HP scaling for just a little bit more damage. Mist Splitter is also good for the crit damage and tons of elemental damage bonus. Alhaitham's signature might be decent as well. It gives crit damage and can increase normal attack damage by 120% of elemental mastery, so if you run that, you might want some EM on Ayato. Skyward Blade is pretty decent, has energy recharge, and its passive gives crit rate, boosts attack speed, and increases normal attack damage. As for budget options, Aminoma Kaguchi is solid. It has attack for the main stat, and its passive provides energy. Really good, and on top of that, it matches Ayato's drip perfectly. Kago Sarube Ishin is decent for attack, and its passive has an AoE effect that can trigger every 8 seconds. It isn't crazy, but overall it's a decent sword. Now if you're really on budget, let me introduce you to Harbinger of Dawn. This bad boy can increase your crit damage to a good amount, and its passive gives crit rate as long as you're at 90% or more HP. Harbinger will get the job done. Wait, what the hell is that? Next up is the teams. Since Ayato is Hydro and pretty good at applying it, he can fit with many teams. Of course, one of the best ones is Hyper Bloom. I don't think I need to explain this too much, but it will clap. All you need is 1 or 2 Dendro off-fielders like Traveler, Nahida, or Yao Yao for the healing. 1 or 2 Electro off-fielders like Raiden Shogun, Beidou, Fischl, or Cookie Shinobu for healing. And boom, you got a really overpowered team. Another team is Ayato Freeze, which consists of a good off-field cryo DPS like Rosaria, or Ganyu, or maybe Ayaka. Then you want some kind of Anemo to swirl and shred like Venti, Lynette, Sucrose, or Kazuha, a healer like Diona, Barbara, Kokomi, Farina, Sayu, Jean, and shoot, even maybe Chi-Chi. And boom, you got a perma-freeze team. Another team is the Taser team. Use Ayato with a good off-field Electro character like I mentioned before, Animo characters to shred and swirl, and a healer that's Hydro or Electro. This team will be pretty good for lots and lots of Electro charging. The last team I'll mention is with the usual Xiangling and Bennett. Of course, Bennett is there for the damage boost and heals. Xiangling is there for off-field DPS that can help Ayato vaporize. As for the other slot, you could do Xingqiu, who will do some more Hydro damage along with Ayato. To add, you could switch Xingqiu out with Yunjin, who will boost normal attack damage, and if she's C6, she will give you an attack speed boost. Pretty amazing, right? You could also do Candace. She basically does the same thing as Yunjin, but a bit worse. Not a great choice, but the option is there. To end the video, overall, Ayato is such a great guy. He's very charming, very universal to many other characters, and honestly just a really free-to-play friendly character as a whole. He has a lot of value and is worth it in my opinion. For those who are pulling him, I wish the best of luck to you, alright? May RNGesus grant you his blessing so that you may win the 50-50. Anyway, let me know what you think about this Ayato. I hope you enjoyed and found the video useful. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.